Hello, my friends. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me. I'm Kathy Rhodes, and today I'm going to challenge you to think differently about how you prepare a presentation. Now, in my last episode, we talked about the point of a story, and I even called some of you out because I know that there's some of you thinking, I'm not a speaker, I'm not a presenter, I don't want to speak in front of people. Please don't pause the video. Please keep playing. I get it. Not everybody wants to do what I do. I get it. But you still speak, right? We still talk to people. We still have to give presentations at work or for different events. So how about if I just share some tips with you? How can you look professional, even for those once in a while opportunities? Now, real quick, for some of you who just hate speaking and it's a fear, really the problem is you just don't do it enough. Okay, you just don't do it enough. In my last video, I talked about my storytelling contest experience over the last few years. And something I really learned 2 years ago at my second event is the value of practice. So think about even a presentation you're doing at work. I mean, it could be even a team meeting. It could be something like it's 2 minutes long. Practicing it is so important. So what I want you to do is get a piece of paper out and just draw a triangle. Okay, we're gonna use this triangle a few different ways in this whole preparation for a presentation. Looking at the triangle with the base at the bottom and the point at the top, I want you to start at the bottom and think about, how do I even prepare for a presentation? Well, you prepare by just writing out all your thoughts on that topic. Like go into OneNote or Microsoft Word or whatever your text tool is and just start typing, or even a notebook, and start handwriting everything about the content you want to talk about. So back 2 years ago when I was creating what I call my control story, the link is in the chat or in the description if you want to watch it. It's also referenced in the previous podcast episode, so watch it if you didn't watch it already. When I was preparing for that control story, I related it to an experience I had flying airplanes. I just started dumping all of my thoughts and facts and just everything about that situation. And I started kind of relating that story to the action item or the learning lesson that I wanted people to get from the story. That's the base of your triangle. That's like a lot of content, way too much content. That's not what you're going to really share in the meeting, but you got to start somewhere. And what happens is your brain continues to think about this activity way past the time that you were on your computer. So you don't want to do this like 1 hour before the meeting, okay? You want to do this maybe a few days before. Just brain dump. The base of the triangle, you're just brain dumping. And then as your brain thinks some more, you're going to come back and put things maybe in logical order. You're going to add things. Once you really feel like you've got all of the ideas down, now you need to start tweaking it. Now you need to go through and think, okay, hold on, this is way too much information. So what can I take out? Now you're climbing up the sides of your triangle as you slim down the content and really just start to decide what the most important piece of the presentation is. To be honest, this is where AI can really help you. I don't like the idea of AI writing my presentations. I need to do that process of brain dumping and writing it out and getting my ideas out there. And once I start to tweak it or condense it, I guess I could say, that's when AI can help. That's when AI can be like, oh, you said this 5 times. We only need to say it once. So use your tools to make this a little easier. But now we're climbing up the sides of the triangle. So this first layer of condensing, we're not done. I mean, before you get to the peak of the triangle is like maybe more like the script that you want to be saying during your story, during your presentation, during your meeting. I mean, that is like super condensed. So this condensing process, it takes a little bit of time. And it takes a little bit of days. Like you need to get your brain away from it and come back to it. So once you get that perfect script, you're at the peak of your triangle. Now we're going to take the triangle and flip it. Now you're looking at the upside down triangle. That condensed script now becomes the wide base of this upside down triangle. And now it's practice time. Okay, so here is where I print my script. And it's created in a way it's not just perfectly written in paragraphs. There's some highlighted colors. There's some in parentheses, maybe motions I want to do or pauses I want to take. So it's written in a way that I can speak it properly. And now this is what I call the 7 times principles, the 7 times process. I'm going to take my script and I'm going to read it 7 times. Oh, by the way, have a Post-it note handy and start just tallying all your practice times, because we're not going to just do 7. So just start tallying, okay? I'm showing you here on a screen a tally that I did when I was practicing for my storytelling contest. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Make it simple, but keep track, okay? So back to your script. You're literally having it in your hand and you're going to read it. Because what you need to do is get it into your mind, get it into your brain. And as it says pause, make sure you pause. And as it says move to the right, make sure you're doing all of that. But it's just like an actor who's reading the script. That's what you're doing 7 times. Once you start doing it, you're going to start memorizing it. So now as we start to come down our upside down triangle, now what I want you to do is take that script, and in the margin, in the left-hand margin, I want you to get your pen. Actually, you know what? I want you to get your 4-color pen out, and I want you to flip to different colors like red, and I want you to start to define each paragraph with 1 or 2 words. You know, this is my opening paragraph. This is where I'm going to define my circumstance. This is, you know, whatever that descriptor is of the paragraphs, just write it in the left margin. And now I want you to practice your presentation 7 times by only looking at the left margin of your script. You're not going to be exact on your script because that's just how our brain works, but you're going to be there. And so again, remember that 7 times? Yeah, you're going to do this 7 times, and then you're going to continue to go back to the script and realize, what did I forget? What did I miss? What do I like that I changed? What do I want to make sure I add in? You know, highlight things, and you're constantly tweaking. But again, you're going back 7 times, at least 7 times. You're practicing it with this new approach. Now, that tally sheet, keep tallying, keep adding it. And as we continue to get more streamlined and move down the upside down triangle, once we feel comfortable with those kind of bullet points, if we want to call it that, quick ways to recap each paragraph, now we're putting the script away. Now you're going to go find a note card. And you're going to write on the note card just enough to keep you on track. It might be those recaps, those paragraph recaps, just those bullet points. It might be a transition. Sometimes the transitions between thoughts, I might get lost. So that might be. It might be your intro. It might be your closing, because that's a powerful spot. You don't want to mess that up. But now it's just a note card. And again, 7 times. Stand with your note card. By the way, I said stand. I didn't say sit. We have to actually practice the way we're going to present. I guess if you're in a meeting, you might be sitting. No, stand, just get used to that, right? Stand with your note card and do it again 7 times. Tally it on your Post-it. Now we're getting further down in our upside down arrow. Finally, at the peak, at the point, at the very bottom of our upside down arrow, we're taking that and throwing it aside. It should be pretty well memorized by now. We've practiced it at least 30 to 50 times. Now it's memorized. Do it again. 7 times. Keep tallying. Keep practicing. Now you're going to get your movements in. Now you're going to get your emotions in. Now you're not going to see the script in your mind and follow each word and be that robot. You're going to be you. And you're going to pivot and you're going to change things because there's going to be people in front of you and you're going to adapt to their reactions. Now do it 7 more times. And then 7 more times. You know, I talked about the storytelling contest in my previous video. And the first year, spoiler alert, I didn't win. It was horrible. I hated my video. I hated my presentation. But it kickstarted something within me. So when I went back the second year, well, first of all, I talked to the winner and I talked to others, what did you do to prepare? And the winner from the first year said, well, I practiced it 100 times. Okay, Paula, how do you know you practiced 100 times? She said, because I tallied it. Duh. That's why I'm telling you to tally it. Know how many times you've practiced it. So that second year, when I went back to that storytelling contest, had a little bit of an attitude. I was practicing it. I was going for 100 practice sessions. I only got to about 66 or 69 practice sessions before I performed it. But something happened, some magic happened around number 56. And these are the things I want you to pay attention. There was magic that happened around number 23. And that's where I felt like, ooh, my script is solid. But around 56, I no longer needed a note card. I didn't need my script. I was pivoting a little bit, but I felt my presentation. I felt it within me. It was in me. It was happening. I was able to get my emotions and my movements into it. It's just really powerful. The reason why we're uncomfortable for certain presentations is because we haven't done it enough. So do it in your office with the door shut and the blinds closed. Do it in front of a camera and then watch your video. That's powerful. Do it in front of other people. My dogs, they started to love my presentation because they were my audience. Stuffed animals, I don't care, whatever you need. But just keep practicing and watch how these magic moments really start to happen at certain points of your practice. Now, when I did my presentation on stage, my story, this is in the contest. I was on stage. I knew it. I was excited about it. I was passionate about it. And I forgot my script when I was on stage. Twice. And here's what happened. I knew my movements. So at this one moment when I forgot my lines, I forgot where I was in my bulleted list, my movement was to bring my finger to my forehead. And I did that. I did that in the moment. I also moved, I took a step to the right. And it was so cool. Because as soon as I did that, everything came back to me. My entire next paragraph, my entire next bullet point, it just came back to me. And I continued on. Some really cool stuff happens. And there's a whole science behind that we won't get into right now. But you see how all of this is important? So you're not, when you're in a meeting, when you're presenting to a team, you're not reading it. You're having a conversation with them. And you're not going to miss any of those key moments because you've put that preparation time into it. So I hope today I've challenged you to think differently about you as a presenter, but also I hope I've given you some tools to really construct your system, your habits, and your next amazing presentation. Please share it with me. Tell me about it. And share this episode with your team so that you're all really successful at your presentations. I'll see you all next time. I hope this topic has challenged you to think differently as you strive to grow from success to world class. Please follow this podcast, share it with your friends, and follow me and Unity Consulting on all social platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and our website, unityconsultingllc.com. I look forward to connecting with you next time to challenge your habits so that you are more efficient and fully empowered.